almost everyone I talk to, or almost everyone I know, is in one way or another looking for a feeling. They're looking for a nicer feeling. They want to feel at peace. They want to feel calm. They want to feel safe. The United States of America is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is like our culture, to seek a feeling. And so you've got this whole country looking for a feeling, running around looking to create a feeling, or they're looking for it. And it makes sense to me that when I'm looking for something, I'm going to want to be looking for it, spending energy looking for it in places that I might be able to find it. I don't want to spend time looking in places that I know it just can't be there. They say a little parable about this. There's a fellow walking home at night. He runs into his friend Joe, and Joe's looking for something. He can see Joe's, searching around on the sidewalk and in the street. He asks his buddy, "Hey, what's going on?" He says, "Well, I dropped my keys. I'm looking for my keys." And so he says, "Hey, I'll help you look," and the two of them together, they start looking around, and they're not finding it. It's not turning up. And so he says to his buddy, he says, well, where did you last see them? Where did you drop them? And he said, I dropped them over there back behind the house in the alley. So Joe says to him, well, if you dropped them back there, why are you looking over here? And he says, because there's no light back there. The light's much better over here. It doesn't make any sense. That's the point, is that, it just doesn't make any sense just because the light is better somewhere, because you can see certain things and you can appreciate certain things and you can examine them. That doesn't mean that that's the right place to look, especially if you know that the answers can't be found there. There's this idea that is well accepted and confirmed over and over and over again by academia and medical studies, behavioral studies, that there's a relationship that exists between the physical and the psychological, that there's things that happen in the world that are involved in the creation of how we feel inside. The idea is that there's a correlation, there's some relationship. And so as a society, as a country, as a people, as a race, this is kind of the one thing that almost the entire world agrees upon, and that is our circumstances and our past determine how we feel inside. So given that as a culture we understand that our inner experience, our feeling, our emotional state is correlated to our circumstances and our past, it's perfectly logical to conclude that what we need to do in order to acquire or achieve the feelings that we're looking for is we need to get our circumstances in order, because that's the catalyst for how feelings are born in me. They're related to, maybe not totally, but they're largely related to my circumstances and my past, and therefore it behooves me to get my physical life in order, marry the right person, live in the right place, earn the right amount of money. It's all very logical. And what we've come to see is that relationship was never true, and that looking in that direction to find the answers for the feeling that we're looking for by searching the world around us for causes is one of the saddest wastes of life that we can ever come across. And while the lighting is not as good when we start to look quote unquote within, or when we try to examine the psychological nature of human beings, when we start to ask questions about, okay, well then what is psychology? How does it work? And we start to run into things like the mind and soul and these types of non-physical entities. We have no terminology. We have no constructs to work with there. The lighting's really bad, so a lot of people just give up and they say, oh, we're not going to look there, let's look in the street. The lighting's better when I can blame you for how I feel. That's just, yeah, that makes more sense, although it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, but it's easier to look there. And what we've been doing is we've been saying, okay, let's stop. Before I spend any more energy and time trying to create new feelings or looking out in the world to find my feeling, let's ask a different type of question. Am I looking in the right place? Do I know how feelings come to be in the first place? What they're made of? Do I fundamentally have any facts there that might help me narrow down where to look? And what if I found out that upon answering the question of where feelings come from and what they're made of, that fundamentally it's impossible that they can be provided to me from the world around me, from my circumstances or my past, that are the physical circumstances of our lives and the psychological realities of our lives, the ways we actually feel, may be completely unrelated and of a completely different order. And even though we don't yet have the vocabulary to talk about it, let's at least kind of feel around that dark alley and see what we can come up with. Or maybe we can run into someone, or we'll find out about someone that's been down that alley and saw something really profound, and let's ask them what they saw. And so that's what we've been doing, and we've been finding some wonderfully unpredictable answers that have been completely transforming the way we approach all kinds of topics, but most importantly, education, how we educate our children, how we educate others, and how we understand relationships, and most fundamentally, how we understand the human experience. And with that newfound knowledge, the way we relate to the world is transforming us in a profound way. Potentially, anyone who wants to look down that road can find some tremendous knowledge that not only upends what's considered common knowledge or accepted knowledge today, but it opens up doors that not only doors that were previously locked, but it opens up doors or shows us doors that we never knew were there in the first place. While we've been looking down this direction for quite some time, and we've learned a lot, there are two things in particular that come to mind that I'd like to share with you today that we've seen, or that have revealed themselves to us. Number one, there's no telling what you're going to discover for yourself. You can't decide ahead of time what you're going to learn. It reveals itself to you, not the other way around. And second, it's clear as day to me this is not meant to be inspirational or uplifting. It's just hard, cold fact. And it sounds silly to someone who hasn't looked in this direction yet. But I can see today, without any reservation, human beings don't break. Human beings, psychologically, as long as they're alive, never hit a point of no return. I mean, sure, once they die, it's over. But as long as you're alive, as long as a human being is alive, because the system that provides us with a psychological experience is infinite. I can see factually, logically, there's no one who is beyond evolving in even one moment beyond their wildest imagination. That always remains available. And to me, that was just mind-boggling to run into. And it certainly forced me to come to terms that human beings are far, far greater in potential than we had ever previously imagined.